All right, there's a major update to the Natalie Ryan versus Disc Golf Pro Tour lawsuit that we need to talk about. Just wanted to make a brief note before I start. I mentioned the PDGA and the Disc Golf Pro Tour interchangeably. They actually have two independent appeals to the district court that are not actually the same, but I mentioned it in the same manner. I don't know if it really makes that much of a difference to my arguments or claims. And also I wanted to make a note that I mentioned the potential that she will not be able to play for the rest of the year. I am not fully sure that that is the concrete outcome of the lawsuit. There definitely needs to be a legal analysis and maybe some updates. I just don't fully know. So let's get into it. All right, so right off the bat, it is definitely not the end-all be-all. There's more to this that could potentially occur, but because this is a lawsuit between Natalie Ryan and Disc Golf Pro Tour in the state of California, there is certainly a limited importance to this as the season goes on because there is no more events in California. And so if you are not aware, just a brief overview, Natalie Ryan filed a lawsuit against the Disc Golf Pro Tour based upon the terms of discrimination as a transgender athlete. There really wasn't too much going on with this case up until about a couple of days ago where some more stuff was coming out. There was a document where a bunch of FPO players signed off about the disapproval with the decision to let Natalie Ryan play, ranging from Katrina Allen, Evelina Salonen, Kat Murch, and a couple of other players, but it's not totally eligible, so I don't know for sure who all was on that list. But they were basically saying that the Disc Golf Pro Tour needs to allow solely female-based players and no transgender athletes. And to go along with this, they also had the determination of why they chose the certain rules that they did for transgender athletes and stated a pretty poor medical reasoning and referenced the public survey as a means for why they made the decision. And all in all, if you don't have good evidence as to why you made the call to restrict transgender athletes, then you definitely are going to have some issues in court. And that was coming into fruition because Natalie Ryan filed a restraining order to allow her to play in the OTB Open. And the reasoning why this was a pretty easy case for her to win is that there was already some pretty shoddy evidence that they were basing their decision upon, and there is a ruling based upon, I think it's called diversity discrimination, which basically means that the person filing the lawsuit has to be in the same state as the defendant. I'm not a lawyer. I don't really know the logistics of this. I've read it so many times, but it's not totally clear. But basically, they try to claim that Steve Dodge was from the state of Virginia. Therefore, they were in the same jurisdiction of Natalie Ryan being a resident of Virginia. But that is actually not the case. He's actually a resident of Massachusetts. And to go along with that, they also had pretty bad evidence otherwise. So it was a very easy case to fail upon. And so that was the original ruling, was that Natalie Ryan was allowed to play in this tournament. But there was obviously some asterisks, but there was a real possibility that this might be appealed based upon any number of reasons. And that was the outcome as of a couple hours ago. The district court has ruled in favor of the Pro Tour, stating that Natalie Ryan lacked the diversity jurisdiction that was ruled in her favor yesterday. And while this may not have a ton of implications for the current event, because there is a lot that goes into it, this isn't just going to be over as of right now. There's still stuff to pursue. But as far as Natalie Ryan's opportunity to play much of the rest of the season, it is essentially what I believe to be over, besides throw pink, which is an A tier. Therefore, it is not under the same ruling. Any transgender athlete can play in an A tier. And all in all, I think this is definitely indicative of the Pro Tour and PDGA just not really getting their stuff together. There's certainly something to say that you don't have the ability to get a proper amount of evidence with such short notice, but they really did not have their A game. There was a lot of errors in the documents, which really ruins their credibility. And if they are to make the claim that transgender athletes are not allowed to play in the FPO division, then they must have a rock solid case, which I believe they do not have at the moment. I think it'll take some time. It'll take a lot of research and scientific claims backed by a lot more than just testosterone and general statements about what a female and male is. I do believe the final outcome will be no transgender athletes will be allowed to play, besides maybe the situation where somebody transitioned pre-puberty, but those cases are very rare. So I think overall, I think transgender athletes will not participate in the FPO division, but I think now and the time for that to actually come into fruition is a ways away. I think there's still a lot of legal grounds that need to be concluded. We will just have to see what comes of it. And this is certainly an evolving story. There may be something that comes out tomorrow. It's still hard to say. And once again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't fully understand this stuff. I've read it like a dozen times, and it is still not totally clear to me. But TLDR, Natalie Ryan was allowed to play day one of OTB. The district court has ruled in favor of Disc Golf Pro Tour against Natalie Ryan, which means that overall she will not be allowed to play in California as an FPO player. So let me know what you guys think. This is obviously a hot topic. I would like to hear what you guys have to say, with the only caveat of just be respectful. That's it. Just show respect for everybody. You can have your take. Just do it in a respectful manner. Thank you guys for your time. Wild Runs, signing out. Peace.